All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going to talk about a massive challenge for security leaders everywhere. How do you stop just explaining risk and actually start driving action? We're going to show you how to completely transform the way you talk to your execs and turn security from something they see as a cost into a real competitive advantage.
You know the feeling, right? You're the expert. You see the threats, you know exactly what needs to be done, but when you bring it to the board, you just get these blank stares. It's so frustrating. And it all comes down to a simple problem. We're trained to explain technical problems, not to drive business decisions.
Just look at this. On the left, that's the old way. We need to upgrade the firewall. It's true, but it forces the executives to do all the work of figuring out why they should care. Now look at the right. Same request, totally different language. This is a strategic business decision. It speaks in dollars and cents, and that is the fundamental shift we're going to break down today. So how do we make that happen? Well, it all starts with a huge change in your mindset. Your goal in that boardroom isn't just to make sure leadership is informed about security risks. No way. Your goal is to get them to act. This right here, this is the single most important idea you'll hear today. Seriously, it's a total game changer. From now on, every single slide, every email, every conversation you have should be built for one purpose and one purpose only, to guide your leadership to a clear, confident decision. So here's how we're going to do it. This breaks it all down. We're going to walk through a really simple but really powerful framework. It's got some core strategies, a few key ways to structure your message, and it's all aimed at that one ultimate goal, driving those decisions. Okay, let's jump into the first and honestly the most crucial pillar. If you want them to listen, you've got to stop talking like a security expert and start talking like a business leader. And here's the thing you have to remember. Your CEO doesn't need to know the technical difference between phishing and whaling. They just don't. They trust you with that. What they need from you is decision-making information. They need to understand the business consequences of doing something or of doing nothing. This slide, this is your cheat sheet. This is exactly what they do care about. So from now on, frame every single security issue you have through one of these four lenses. How does this hit our bottom line, our brand, our legal risk, our ability to just keep the lights on? You answer those questions, and I promise you, you will have their undivided attention. So, once you're speaking the right language, the next piece of the puzzle is all about how you deliver the message, because the structure of your presentation is just as important as the words you use. Now, I know this feels completely backward to a lot of us technical folks. We're trained to build a case, right? You lay out all the evidence piece by piece, and then, ta-da, the conclusion. But executives are buried in work. They don't have time for a mystery story. You have to give them the answer first. Get right to the point. It shows you respect their time. Look at this example. It is so direct, it's crystal clear, and it is an immediate call to action. You haven't even gotten into the why yet, but you've already given them the single most important piece of information, what you need them to do. Then, after you've led with that conclusion, you back it up with this incredibly simple three-part structure. First, what's the problem? Be clear. Second, why should they care? And put it in terms of dollars and cents. And third, what's your plan? And what's the big benefit? It's a really logical flow that perfectly justifies your recommendation. All right, our final pillar. This one is all about the human element. You can have the perfect language, the perfect structure, but if you don't have trust, you have zero influence. This is all about changing the entire dynamic of the conversation. Your goal here is to stop being the department of no and start being the partner who asks, okay, how can we make this work? When an executive raises a legitimate concern, don't treat it like an argument you have to win. Treat it as just another piece of a shared puzzle that you have to solve together. This phrase right here, this is pure gold. It builds bridges. You're acknowledging their point, you're validating their input, and then you add your own expertise. It's not defensive at all, it's collaborative. Using language like this can single-handedly shift the entire tone of a meeting from a fight to a partnership. Okay, let's talk about the payoff. When you really master the language, the structure, and this collaborative approach, something amazing happens. You don't just get your budget approved, you completely change how security is seen inside your entire organization. 300 million. Just look at that number. What is that? It's not a budget request, I'll tell you that. It's a cautionary tale. That is the power of telling a story with data. Instead of talking about abstract risks, you use a real, concrete, terrifying example from your own industry. It makes the threat feel tangible, urgent, and personal to every single person in that room. And all of a sudden, your budget request, it doesn't seem so large anymore, does it? And this is the final, most powerful reframe you can make. You stop talking about security as a cost you have to bear. You start talking about it as a competitive advantage you can leverage. Great security isn't just about preventing bad stuff from happening. It's about building the kind of trust that wins and keeps customers for life. It becomes a core part of your brand.
So here it is. This is your new playbook. Your goal isn't just to explain risk anymore, it's to drive decisions. Your tools aren't tech jargon, they're business data, a clear answer for structure and empathy. The outcome isn't just a signed check, it's real strategic influence. And in the process, you transform your identity from just a technical expert into a true business leader. So I'll leave you with this one question to really think about. The next time you walk into that board meeting, what story are you going to tell? Because the answer to that doesn't just decide your budget, it decides your influence, and it might just decide the future of your entire organization.